Hello everyone, this is Pooja Ram Rohit, Department of Biology, ASC Independent PU College. With respect to the chapter Ecosystem, we discussed about productivity, stages of decomposition, food chain, energy flow, food web, and many more. Out of which, one more concept that we will be learning today is the nutrient cycle. There are several materials including energy required by ecosystem, and they are continuously made available to the ecosystem through recycling. We see a constant exchange of materials between living organisms and abiotic environment in which they are living, and that is achieved through the recycling of materials. This overall phenomena is called as biogeochemical cycle. So bio refers to life, geo refers to earth, and there is continuous chemical reactions taking place, and the process is cyclic. Hence the term biogeochemical cycle. Now, the mineral elements taken up from the environment by the producers are again returned to the environment through the consumers and decomposers. As we have learnt in the few sessions, the inorganic nutrients that are available in the soil are taken up by the producers. And these producers will convert inorganic nutrients into organic matter. This is referred to as primary productivity. Now, the plants are eaten up by the consumers, where within the consumers a formation of new organic matter occurs, which we refer to as the secondary productivity. Now, when these plants and consumers die, the dead bodies are decayed by the decomposers, where complex organic matter will be converted into simple inorganic nutrients, and these inorganic nutrients reach back the soil. So they were in the soil, which were taken up by plants, then it moved into consumers, and from plants and consumers, decomposers brought it back to the soil. So this completes a cycle. Yes, so this is nothing but biogeochemical cycle. Now this is a simple representation of nutrient cycle. Here we see, I have labeled this particular picture as biomass. Biomass is the organic matter that we are referring to. How do we form these organic matters? Of course, from the soil, the inorganic nutrients are taken. The pathway is called uptake pathway, where inorganic nutrients will be taken by producers, converted into organic matter. When these plants are eaten up by consumers, there it is formed as animal organic matter. Yes, when these plant debris and the animal debris, when they get littered, when they fall onto the soil, the process is called as fallout pathway. Yes, and sometimes due to precipitation also, some components may litter onto the soil. When they are rushed into the oceans, when they move into the oceans, when it rains, some components may enter into the oceans or elsewhere, then we say it as loss by runoff. Okay, and when they get decayed by the detritivores and the decomposers, they move back into the soil. Some of the nutrients are also available in the form of weathering. That is, weathering of rocks will take place, and certain organic forms will get converted into inorganic forms, and due to weathering the soil is formed. So soil will have all the inorganic materials, of which some will get sedimented as unavailable salts, which we use the term as leaching. So this is a representation of nutrient cycle. You can see the nutrients are taken up from the soil, then it moves through a huge cycle, and again it comes back into the soil. So we take from the environment and then give back to the environment. So this is nutrient cycle. We have different types of cycle found within an ecosystem. They are broadly being classified into gaseous cycle and sedimentary cycle. Gaseous cycle includes carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, and oxygen cycle. In case of carbon and oxygen cycle, reservoir is the atmosphere, or sometimes when it comes to water cycle, it is the hydrosphere. However, in sedimentary cycle, we have phosphorus cycles, calcium cycles, sulfur cycles, etc. The reservoirs are the Earth's crust, nothing but the lithosphere. In our syllabus, we are supposed to learn two cycles, carbon cycle in gaseous cycle and phosphorus cycle in the sedimentary cycle. Let's start with carbon cycle. Carbon is the foundation of all life on Earth, required to form complex molecules such as proteins, carbohydrates, DNA, etc. There are two main reservoirs of carbon. One in the atmosphere. In the atmosphere, it is in the form of carbon dioxide. And the second reservoir is the lithosphere, where it is in the form of carbonates within rocks and sediments. We also find carbon in petroleum, coal, etc. And as we all know, we also have carbon in the living organism in the form of organic matter. Now, the carbon dioxide that is available in the atmosphere is utilized by the producers in order to produce organic matter such as carbohydrate, proteins, etc. This occurs during the process of photosynthesis. Now, these producers are eaten up by the consumers, and within the consumers there is formation of new organic matter. So, carbon dioxide that was taken up from atmosphere has got converted into plant organic matter and further into animal organic matter here. Yes. Now, when these consumers respire, they tend to release carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. So again, carbon dioxide which came from atmosphere has reached back to the atmosphere. This completes one cycle. Similarly, when these producers and consumers who have the organic matter in them, when they decompose, they are broken down into inorganic nutrients. During the process, again carbon dioxide is released back into the atmosphere. Coming on to the lithosphere reservoir, we have coal, petroleum, fossil fuel, etc. which are burnt. When they are burnt, they release carbon dioxide, and this released carbon dioxide will again get back into the atmosphere. Similarly, in oceans, phytoplanktons will utilize carbon dioxide, carry out photosynthesis, produce organic matter. They are fed by the consumers present in the ocean. When these consumers respire, they release carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. Along with that, the decomposition process also will take place by decomposers, and this will also release carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. One thing we need to note here, some of the dead and organic matter, either it is in the lithosphere or in the hydrosphere, that is in the ocean, when some of these dead and organic matter will get sedimented. Okay, so they get sedimented deeper into the Earth's crust. It is generally made available, sometimes it is made unavailable, but it can be utilized, as we see that the fossil fuels, the petroleum, the coal, all these are again burnt, and carbon dioxide is coming back into the atmosphere. So this completes the cycle. In the picture, you can see carbon dioxide that is present in the atmosphere is taken up by producers, where plant organic matter is formed, which are eaten up by consumers. Now, these consumers will respire and release carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. When the producers and the consumer die, the decomposers will carry out decomposition. Again, carbon dioxide will be released back into the atmosphere. Similarly, we have fossil fuels. We have wood and other material which also has carbon in it. When we burn these materials, again carbon dioxide will be released back into the atmosphere. As I told you, in the sedimented form, we have oil, gas, coal, etc., which when burnt, that is combustion of fossil fuel, we say, it again releases carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. Some of the dead and decaying matter will get sedimented. Now coming on to the ocean. In the ocean, the phytoplanktons carry out photosynthesis, utilize carbon dioxide, and then when they are fed by the consumers, they carry out respiration and decomposition will take place, due to which carbon dioxide is sent back into the atmosphere. Right? Some of the materials get sedimented in the form of calcareous sediments. So this completes the carbon cycle. This picture represents phosphorus cycle. Here in the cycle, rock minerals which contain phosphates, over time during the process of weathering, they get converted into inorganic phosphates and now they are available in the soil. The inorganic phosphates available in the soil are taken up by producers. That is why we use the term as uptake. And these producers will utilize the inorganic phosphate and convert it into organic phosphates in the form of DNA, ATP, lipids, etc. These producers are then eaten up by the consumers. In the consumers also it will be stored in the form of organic phosphates. When these producers and when these consumers die, they get decomposed. Now here I have used the term litter fall. If you remember, I had discussed about litter fall, where some bits of producers and all that, when they are available in the soil, the detritivores will start eating up and break down into simpler components where it is the humus that is formed, humification, and later by the process of decomposition, again the organic phosphates are converted into inorganic phosphates and they reach back into the soil. Some of the salts during rain, what happens is they enter into the oceans, and in the oceans they may get sedimented. When they run into the oceans, the process is called as runoff, and once they get sedimented for a very longer duration, they are no more available for us. That is why it is also called as imperfect cycle. As they get sedimented deeper in the oceans, they are also called as the sedimentary cycle. With these two cycles, I complete nutrient cycle. In the next session, we shall discuss about ecological succession and ecological services. Thank you.